Okay, but it's not on the screen.
Oh,
Waste
Is
management.
anyone there?
I think I know.
Wish
Stay there.
you
Yes,
could
they pay
see
that.
it.
Oh, you got it?
Really
Oh, got it.
Say,
That's why I brought this up. That's why.
yeah, he didn't say,
Councilwoman,
which I doubt she
Cleveland.
did.
Present.
Councilman Saxonheimer,
Here he
But
is.
we was giving him watch a video.
Councilman Evans,
Here.
Councilwoman Smith, Councilman Nelson, Councilman Hong,
Here.
Councilwoman Rosso,
Here.
Councilwoman Campbell.
Thank you. All right, first order of business, discussion relative to council workshop protocol. I'm gonna let Yolanda lead this. The information that went out I thought was helpful, but just what we'd like to see in a workshop, I'm assuming is the direction you wanna go with this.
Can I have a,
this right?
say, ask a
Add that
question?
off.
So, we're not, we don't need to approve this agenda or put input in it?
No. But if at the end you have something you wanna talk about in time, there's
Okay.
time allowed.
Okay.
I don't think anybody's gonna have any issues
Do
with
we
it.
have another copy?
I've got a couple issues also that I scribbled on there, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Time allowed, it's a workshop, it's gonna be very informal, so.
You want it?
You have paper for us? Okay.
No, it was just questions I had.
Okay. What was, I didn't hear it.
I didn't say the question.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing wrong with yours.
I wanted to know, like when we have a workshop, and we're talking about ordinances and resolutions, I mean, barring that anything that we, like the language or whatever we want to put in is illegal, like who has the final say as to what goes into the ordinance?
That's what I want to know.
Did
Okay.
everyone get, this
What
is
was
really
that again?
helpful. Sarah sent this
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
This is really helpful.
So I just wanted to know, because last time when we were talking
Right.
about the payroll,
The
I-
purchase.
yeah, the purchase order, I was wondering, when we were having the conversation, like, everybody seemed to be on board, but then half of the stuff that I had discussed didn't get put into it. And so then I was wondering, like, do we have to take another step, like an extra
Right.
step to make sure that, like, does there need to be a vote at the end? Or does there need to be, like, does everybody need to be in agreement, or do we have to write it, like, right then and there in order for it to happen? Because when we went over it at the workshop, it seemed like everybody was in agreement, so I didn't even read it. And then it was like,
Right.
some of the stuff wasn't in there, and then I was like, I didn't understand, like, if I needed to do something else, or if something else needed to be done as a council. to have it
I
happen.
can address
Does that make
that.
sense?
To assure that your position is, that everybody is in favor of whatever it is you want to amend, make a specific amendment to the existing resolution or ordinance, and then we'll vote on the amendment. But just
So
be
I
added.
need to,
Yeah.
Just to assure that everybody's on the same page.
so I need to make
And,
an amendment at the meeting.
Yes.
Make a
And then
change.
it-
Make
That
a
would
change.
assure that specific language or a position
Okay.
that you want in there, then we'll just make a motion and we'll take a vote and then we'll know everybody's position.
Right.
but you can't vote at a workshop.
No.
No,
That's what-
we're not going to.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Because that's
There's
what-
nothing prohibiting us from voting at a workshop. It's just not good practice. It's, nobody's
We
here.
would never vote to approve anything at a workshop, but voting to change a policy between first and second reading, I don't think that would be a problem.
Do you think I understood what you just said?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, there's nothing
Okay, so
illegal
you
about
make
it. I just believe it's bad practice because people
Well, that's
expect
what this
meetings
says,
to be
Right.
on the first Tuesday of every month, right?
The vote needs to be
Nobody's
public.
here. Probably is not the best idea to be voting on an issue. But if we vote on putting an issue on the ballot for the regular meeting, I think that would be fine, as Sam suggested.
Well,
So,
and then
use
also-
this example, so the purchasing policy, then Yolanda would have had to, make an amendment to the existing ordinance.
Right, or a
So that's why I'm not-
motion to add X, Y, and Z, right? Short of a motion, I'm just gonna take my interpretation of the discussion, the high points, and that interpretation involves how the discussion went, and I guess if people nod their heads, it's up to interpretation, and there's room for error. But if there's a specific motion, then I'll add that to the.
So
So I
George,
think,
that
and I bring
everyone-
that up, I think the breakdown last time was I failed to interpret the discussion, or my interpretation did not match Councilwoman Campbell's expectations, so.
Well, that, we
And then-
assumed that the other council members were in agreement, so there wasn't much of a conversation or a feedback.
So in the future, like us going forward as a council, we have a discussion at the meeting, like this, a workshop.
Yeah.
The ordinances are changed
Right.
through your interpretation. We read it, and then if what we did not want in there is still not in there, or what we wanted in there is still not in there at the meeting, then I need to make,
You could make a motion
Make a
to
motion
amend
to
at,
amend.
at the regular
Okay.
meeting. yeah.
Now, I will,
Okay.
I do want to ask this question because I don't know the answer to this. If the motion to amend the second reading makes the ordinance significantly different, can you pass that at that meeting? Is that the second reading? It's.
Andy said that we could call them if we have.
Okay, that's what, we don't have to make that
But the
determination.
second reading is not at the workshop session, the
No.
work session.
no,
it's
that's at the
public.
It's a public meeting.
So what's happening at the workshop when you amend it is not a first reading.
Oh, no, there's
It's
nothing.
not amended.
It's not amended. Well, it's a motion to amend, and then the amendment appears at the next, on the ordinance at the next reading. The motion to amend will appear on that ordinance.
Or, and because workshops are more informal, a rundown of the changes that is one.
If everybody just voices
We
their
can do it
opinion.
short of a formal motion as well. If we go, like, let's say, we don't actually have a specific council bill that we're talking about tonight. Let's say we did, and we'll say, let's make sure X, Y, and Z get added. And we don't, that's short of a motion. Or if you want to be extra sure, you can make a motion. But, yeah.
but we really don't want to make a motion at a workshop, is it? Because you're talking about it at the workshop.
I'm not a city, I'm not an attorney. I don't think it's a problem. You don't want to pass a bill at a workshop.
No.
I mean,
But we,
you don't want to
but
pass.
do you want to make
legislation.
a motion to amend at a workshop, is what I'm saying?
I think you could. I don't know.
I would say you
I
can.
wouldn't see why it would.
I'm saying, what do we know the truth to be? Like, what is our protocol? Like,
This is an
that's
open
what I'm
public
saying.
meeting. Legally, we can conduct business. I just think it's bad practice. I don't have an issue with a motion to amend, and then that motion appears later in an ordinance. I just don't want to take votes to pass ordinances or second readings and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So
I'm
there's
just
nothing
saying-
illegal about making a motion, passing a motion, we can call special meetings all the time for some pressing, urgent business.
Yeah.
And take a vote and pass it. There's nothing illegal about it. It's best practice that those things are done at an open public meeting where people expect you to meet once a month and conduct.
So best
business.
practice would be for us to make that amendment at the regular meeting.
But at the work, at the work
If it
session,
wasn't added, I think the best way to do it is to, if we're discussing a bill at a work session, have the discussion. In the discussion, be clear about what we're taking away from it.
yes,
If there's,
putting into
if
it.
there's a split between the council and there's disagreement, then I would probably have a motion and a vote, right?
At the meeting.
At the workshop.
At the workshop.
But if it's general consensus and we've just ran through it, I don't think it's
I
necessary.
agree.
I mean, we'll just
So
roll on.
this says that at a work session, the public can interact with us.
I looked at that. That's a Michigan ordinance.
Oh, Michigan.
I'm not aware of anything
Okay.
in Missouri that
I
requires
wondered.
that. I read that too, and I go,
Yeah.
whoa, I didn't,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
it's a Michigan.
Okay, okay.
And generally, I mean, you all get it, they're informal discussions, so Robert rules don't apply as much.
Okay, so make sure we have a rundown, right?
Yeah.
And then if there's a split, then we can make a motion to amend at
'Cause
the
I
workshop.
do
Just to,
think,
whatever it takes to make it clear what the position of the council as a whole is. If that's general consensus, fine. If there's some there's some confusion about where everybody is, make a motion and take a vote. If there's mixed feelings on any particular issue.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on item A? Moving on to B, verbal update, the special use application. And there was a couple people that just wanted an update on this entire process and what happened, because it happened so fast with the USDA project. I've been talking to them for a year, and everybody knew that, I mean, I told them, nothing's happening unless there's a different outcome in the April election. It just, we were dysfunctional at the time. April came, April went, we've got a council that's more willing to work together. So at that time, we started this process to, USDA Federal Properties has nothing to do with the federal government. They're a private for-profit company. Their niche is acquiring land and building properties for government entities.
Say it again.
Okay, U.S. Federal Properties, the party that we're dealing with, is not a federal agency. They're a private for-profit company. But their niche, their business model is acquiring properties and building buildings to lease back to government entities. And that's what they're doing. They're acquiring this property, they're building a building based on the specifications given them by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and they're gonna lease that building back. They are in competition with, I think, 4 other developers in this region. That building's gonna land somewhere in this region. We're trying to get it here, okay?
There's 4 others, not
Or
3.
3.
I thought there were 4. I couldn't name them because it's all a big double secret. We don't know who's competing for this thing. We don't know what's going on. I was told 4, maybe if one has dropped out, that's,
Besides us. 4
I
besides-
thought 4 with us,
Oh,
but,
4 with us, that's what, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's fine.
okay, at any rate.
Yeah.
So, we got, at one of our meetings, a resolution of support for this project and the tax abatements involved in it. They also got a letter of support from the Normandy School District. They got a letter from support from the Fire District, because those are the entities that are most impacted by the tax abatement. And they said, hey, bring it on, it'll bring jobs and money into our area. We think overall it's a good thing. Planning and Zoning Board then met. And the reason they had to meet is this property next door is zoned residential, which obviously you can't build this testing lab on residential property. So it required one of 2 things, rezoning the property or a special use permit. Rezoning the property, had we chosen to go that route, would have been okay unless they didn't get the project. Then we're stuck with the new zoning.
Yeah.
Okay, and then anybody walks in and says, I want to build some kind of factory or light industrial. It's zoned for it, he would have complied. We chose to go the special use permit, which gives us a lot more control over this entire process. So planning and zoning met. They had the same conversation we had when we met at our city council meeting. Planning and zoning voted to recommend to the city council approving this project. That's what they do. They don't approve or not approve. They vote to recommend to the council. And we're supposed to take to heart their recommendation. So that is all in place. They did apply on July 12th. Their application was submitted, and we're waiting to hear. Now, if they are approved, there's still one step left. We have to approve their special use permit. Does everybody have a, go ahead.
Well, and I'll add to it. So you have the application in front of you. As Councilman Evans pointed out, I messed up when I print this. This all got cut off. I can print you another one. But this is the actual blueprints. Yeah, and I can print
You
you
want
all.
to see it on the computer?
Yeah, you can see.
It's actually, it's on our website.
I think I got it pulled up. You
Didn't
want
we
to see it
get
on
it
the
mailed?
computer,
We got
Tom?
it mailed, it doesn't have an attachment.
Tom, you want to see it on the
Let me see if I can.
Oh, if you can phone it up.
I don't know if I can. Anyways, without. Aha,
Is anybody on Zoom?
no one's on Zoom, but it is recording, which will go on YouTube, so. Anyways, so this was the application that was submitted, is a special use permit application, which I think we will
There
talk.
are IC architectural drawings,
Uh,
but it's good to know it's.
So Tom is on it. As far as updates.
Yeah, as far as the Zoom, yeah. Yeah, here we go, here's the, uncut version.
Oh, that's great, it's better
Yeah.
to be seen.
So you'll see,
You can see the artist
here is the current property as is, which is one of the, everything that they submitted in here is part of the special use permit process. You'll see this right here is City Hall, and this is the current Nunn's property, and here's where the library sits. Okay? This is what they're building overlaid over the old property. You'll see the building structure. I'll just scroll to the next one because it's kind of hard to see on that one. Here's the green space that they're gonna put in front. And then here's a nice picture of what the building will actually look like.
Is this on the same land as the common is on now?
Yes. So you'll see, here's the same road, actually, as the
Oh, that's
common.
the front, the green
That's the
space is
same
the
road
front.
they use.
You've got
Yes.
general parking in the front. This dotted line will be a gate, which they have a picture of what the gate will be like. And then there's gonna be green space in the front. We've been told that there will be trucks, whether they're box trucks or semis. They can't really give us a straight answer, but they will be coming in once a day. They said that they get a delivery in the morning and then coming out here. There'll be 80 to 100 people working in this facility. So,
So let me ask you, that red line there, what about the previous fence along Natural Bridge? Is that gonna remain?
that's a good question. I'm not sure.
I would
they would
suggest
take
that
it
it
down.
will not. I think they're completely raising this
Yeah.
property.
Okay. And they're just gonna fence the parking garage? the
It
parking
looks
garage.
like, yeah, then this is gonna be
Okay.
the fence. So this green space,
That will look much
Do
nicer.
those
Can we
That'd be-
suggest
that'd be
the
really
green
nice.
space in Missouri Native Plants? What is their
Wow.
landscaping company?
I'm not sure. I mean,
That would be really,
we can make demands for approval, but, well, to a certain degree, we can make demands. I'm not sure if that would be
well, I don't know,
within
yeah,
scope, but yeah.
suggest, I mean, it's
Right.
gonna be to their advantage, they're gonna be easier to take care of,
Yeah,
they're not gonna need
calmer.
as much water and attention.
Right.
Sure.
With it being a USDA property, though, I would think that they
hope.
would be cognizant of that.
I mean, 24/1 foresters would probably,
But that also addresses one of my previous concerns one of my previous concerns about federal properties once abandoned, for instance, if there is the possibility of it being an eyesore or blighted, this keeps it from being a major eyesore on prime real estate.
And
for us.
honestly, your concern is quite valid. It could, I think there's just as much chance as no that if the USDA moves out of that building, it's gonna be it's gonna be designed for such a specific purpose that it could sit vacant, but, yeah.
But with renderings and with the plans for having that green space being so deep, right off of Natural Bridge, it keeps it from being such an immediate eyesore as opposed to, the facility on
Yeah.
Goodfellow,
Yeah.
where you
And-
just drive by and it's
It looks like a
there.
prison site.
Yeah.
So, and this, our discussion now is kind of about the process, so I did want to show you guys that, but we will be having, so part of the special use permit application is they submit the permit with all of these things that you're seeing here. They, then have the planning and zoning meeting, which we've done, and now we have a public hearing. Now, that's the public hearing on August 11th. So, August 11th is the public hearing. Once we have the public hearing, so after the public, once the public has been heard, the council will vote on whether to approve it or not.
That road on the side where the semis are gonna go down?
Yeah,
Is that the shared road with the library?
yep.
Is it,
And you know the thing,
is it too heavy? Would that be, that's
I
not?
don't, you know what?
I think if they have to-
rehab the street.
To be honest, I don't think they would, because normally they bring in a lot of box trucks.
Oh.
Because I used to stay near one there.
Oh, good, that's good to know.
Yeah.
No 16-wheelers. I mean, when they first moved in, you probably had one big
Right.
16-wheeler bringing in furniture and stuff.
And any improvements that are gonna need to be made on that road will be their improvements to make, yeah. So, okay, and so I don't want to talk about it too much because we should save some of it for the public hearing. But any questions? I mean, that's the update.
Yeah, the public hearing, following the public hearing, we'll take a vote to approve or not approve this permit application that's in front of us.
And this is the special use process. Keep that in your back pocket for when we get to item D and talking about zoning. Because this is the process that the city of Normandy should have been doing for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay?
Your question, Dave, the buildings over on Goodfellow, they used to be the old Army barracks. It was converted and
Sure.
we started moving government offices in there once they moved out.
Okay.
Okay, and then the public hearing, I just really feel we're kind of not addressing, getting this out to the public, informing them, this is really significant. It may not pass, but I just don't feel we're doing best practice in just limiting what's legal in as far as announcing the public hearing. I just have a difficult time and,
Well, and we'll talk about a newsletter later on here, but if we had a newsletter ready, it would be in the newsletter, right? It's on our website. We posted it to Facebook earlier today. It's just a question of cost for a specific mailer for a hearing.
That was one of the,
vote. If
well, I
we
mean,
get
how do
this
people feel
project-
about a postcard mail? Like, how do you
Postcard?
guys feel about a postcard mailing?
Right.
Like, cause I think we have in our budget already, like, there's like a line item for,
For public notices.
yes. So, I think sending out a postcard to make sure that everybody knows what's going on.
But, I mean, are we gonna send out a postcard every time someone
No, I think
applies
this
for
time
a
we,
special?
I think this time we sent out a postcard, and my thinking is, like we've all said, this hasn't happened in Normandy like in a long time. Like, we have things that, you know, like, I think we're a new council, like, this is a great way for us to, like, make sure that we're engaging the public, you know, to the best of our ability. Now, I can't physically, but I could call people that I know and, like, spread the word, but it's like, you know, it's like, well, kind of like, do we just want to do the bare minimum? But I just wanted to ask everybody else, like, what they thought. Like, do you think your ward would benefit from, well, first of all, it's hot. So ain't nobody walking door to door. At least, okay, so there you go right there. Like, either, so the whole, like, go tell your like, tell people is like, I mean, do you want to, like, we can make a sign and put them, like, in your ward at the stop signs? Like, there are other options. But what I'm saying is, like, go tell everybody, I ain't doing it. Like, it's too hot, I just had surgery.
I will,
Like, it's-
I don't think the flyer is necessary for the same reason. It's expensive. It's just expensive. Now, if you want me to call Mark's Quick Printing and say, how long would it take to make a dozen public notice signs that say this and how much will it cost? Yeah,
Well, and
but we've never had
we could make
trouble.
them general in nature.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Have
yeah,
a public hearing.
right.
there's 30 side streets, so the Normandy notices that we do, it's basically 30. Now, I need to order about 8 more because I'd like one at City Hall, and we lost one. But, I mean, to hit every
We
neighborhood,
don't need
it's
to put them on
30,
every
it's
side street,
300.
in prominent places where people will
Yeah, the
see.
main
The most
streets
high
coming
traffic.
in and out.
Yeah, high traffic
Yeah, but
areas.
is it gonna give, bulleted details about it so people know what they're
No, you
coming?
could just put
Yeah.
public hearing.
Public hearing.
Details at www.normandy.org.
Okay, I mean, that's a,
Come to
My
City Hall.
hope,
People
I just
don't
wanted
use
to
the
know, yeah,
computer,
I just want to know
see
what.
it.
Yeah, but
Voters.
if you try to detail those signs, they're not gonna read it. They're
I'm
gonna.
not the
flip it.
detail, I'm saying a mailing where people can, especially seniors who are voters, the percentage is higher on seniors, they'll read it and they'll be informed, and chances are they'll come to the public hearing. So, I mean, I just think, in the case of transparency, a mailing would get to everyone, and, I just think, and with some information, I'll just use us as an example, the Great Streets Project. Chuck and I were not civically minded at that point, but we read our mailings, and we came to the public hearings, and we listened, and we got engaged temporarily with this. And it was the mailing that got our attention to come to the public hearing. As not engaged civic people, well, we voted. So those are the people I think we wanna reach.
And I mentioned this to Mark when Glen Echo was gonna be annexed, there was a postcard. I don't know if you guys remember, there was like a yellow postcard that came out, like at the time, it was like 4 years ago.
And that could be a legal requirement,
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure. I mean,
The meeting ended up getting canceled, but there was a postcard that came that said like, there is a public
I
hearing.
know a lot of,
I don't know.
and a lot of, I mean, we're a small city and a project this size affects everyone, right? But usually zoning is for the immediate area. And that's why we have to send out certified mail and we have to the surrounding people. Now, there's no
So
residential
who was the mailing
properties.
for the surrounding people with the,
It's basically it's Glen Echo, it's not a whole lot of people. I mean,
Glen Echo.
there's no residents, no residential housing,
Right.
185 feet from this place. Because it's kind of in the institutional pocket of Natural Bridge there, so,
The idea is to hit the people that are impacted by
right.
the construction of this building.
so the library,
Mhm.
the,
St. Anne's,
St. Anne's Lane,
no, not St. Anne's
Church.
Church.
St. Anne's
Glen Echo
Church.
Country Club, the
Glen
Hunt
Echo
House
Country,
across the
The
street.
Hunt House,
Yeah,
the,
and then everything else
the
is kind
mini
of us.
hall, the mini mall.
Yeah, the mini mall got one, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Well, I think it also builds, and the residents are gonna be voting on this if we get it. And so this is a first step to inform the voters in the whole.
The residents
town.
aren't voting
We
on
vote
this.
on it.
There-
We vote.
No, but I mean, doesn't this go up for public vote?
No.
No,
No.
Oh,
That was,
yeah, if that was your concern, if it was a matter of public vote, then,
Yeah, the public hearing is for the people to come and change your mind or have their, at least express their opinion.
yeah.
so we don't need a public vote to go forward with this?
No, we do not.
That's why they elected you, to make that decision.
Pressure's on.
Okay. Well, that gives it, that's,
Right.
so let's follow our rundown. What do people think?
I'm all for, if it's within, budget, we wanna make a couple signs, like decent signs to put at major intersections. Hey, for this project, $200, $300 in signs.
And I would make them generic.
Yeah, so you can.
Details at and put the
Yeah.
website on it.
Yeah,
Right.
and get little
Makes
cards for the
Anybody
day.
else?
Or
So they're
come to
probably
City
about
Hall,
$20.
come to City Hall, get a pamphlet of information. Go online, get information. Call
Also,
City Hall, get
there's no
information.
pamphlet to give them at City Hall, they have to go online.
But there could very well be, just like there's this packet that
I
we
mean,
have
right,
in
we
front of
have
us.
to, right,
We could print a couple,
Yes.
have them available.
yes,
Hey,
yes.
you can take this and you can
That's
read up on
right.
it ahead of time.
yeah, on our
You can tell
website
your
is,
neighbors.
I got this off our
Right,
website.
exactly.
And if we just, if it's a workshop, you wanna jump around, I mean, the newsletter. If we had a newsletter, this would be in the quarterly newsletter.
Right.
I mean, and then there you go, now it's at everyone's house. Now, Sarah has a master's in communication, she's very interested in taking and running with
You're
the
up on
newsletter.
it, yes.
She's said that she would love to do that, which is great, because I think it will look much better than if I did it. And so I think everyone probably agrees quarterly is the best.
I like quarter.
Absolutely.
Yes, I do.
And we're probably gonna do, we found one from the other day, it was 8 pages, I don't know if we're gonna do 8 pages.
Well, you know
That's a
what,
lot of content
The
to fill.
legal size, didn't we like the legal size?
The one, it was 4 pages. It was 1, 2, 3, 4 pages
And it
folded
was
once.
big.
Was it like a booklet? Or
Yeah,
was
well, no, it was a legal size
It was a large 11 by 17,
book, yeah, and then you opened it, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of
and it
content.
covers a lot.
And you're gonna work to fill up 4 pages of content.
Yeah, that is,
So
You're gonna
with
have
the
to
news-
increase your font to fill up 4 pages of content.
lots of
People may
pictures.
need that, but I mean, that seemed to work. And that was like $1.25 each at,
Well, we would have a corporate, like,
We would
it
not
wouldn't
do
be the
it
same
here.
as going to FedEx, like you would have to have a corporate.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's not that expensive quarterly to get it
Well, and
out.
depending on the content, it
Yeah.
may be front and back. It depends on how much
And it
content
doesn't
we have.
necessarily have to be color, you know, I mean,
Yeah,
they can.
do we want color on the front page and
I
black and
think
white
it
for the
makes
rest?
for a
I like
nice
color.
newsletter
Yeah,
and
I
people
think
read it.
so.
And part of, well, I mean, we'll get some estimates based off and compare, make that decision real with how much money that costs, but.
So if we do it quarterly, we kind of want to do it around the elections, like January, February, March, then there's April. June, July, August, not necessarily.
I'm not thinking it, we don't want it to look like a piece of campaign literature.
Right,
Right.
and it's not supposed to
that's
be,
a good
that
point.
would be that would
Right.
absolutely be in violation.
And that's the other thing, I mean, the administration will be making the newsletter, right?
We have almost no say in it.
We can have a ward spot in it, but we're not gonna have campaign literature in it.
Right.
Oh, no, well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. I mean, well, it's
Yeah,
true.
so-
And also, if we
So it doesn't
do
relate to-
January, and then the April one wouldn't come out until after
Right.
the election, so it's won't appear political.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I see what you mean, yeah.
Can we go back?
April, May, June.
Yes.
So what do we decide with the numbers?
Well, let's hear from everybody.
Right.
You're talking about the postcards versus.
Yeah, I didn't hear a nice.
Well, we interrupted. David gave his take.
Yeah.
Steve?
I think his would be the best, where you could just make up some signs and make them generic, just like they said, and
Just because of timing, because we don't
Yeah.
have
Right.
a lot of time
Right.
to crank something out.
And we can use them later, I guess.
Right.
It's very
Yeah, they-
general.
Something where you can always
purposes.
change the
Right.
date on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Big Sharpie, right? The date, you just changed the date.
Yeah, just change.
Yeah, I
the
wonder if
date.
you get little card holders.
Right.
Right, a placard.
Yeah, yeah.
placards on
Right. They
there.
have those, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And you could print little informal, little
I'll reach out
informational
to
things
Mark.
and stick them in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
No, you
Yeah,
could.
yeah.
Little waterproof,
Yeah.
like at the trailheads, you open them up and take out a map of the trail and
Yes.
something like that. Let me
Oh,
work
yeah.
on, let me work
Okay,
on that.
sure.
I will do my very best to have something for this hearing is what you're concerned
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
So I'll get to work on that.
Yeah, we'll reach out as soon as we can, and
I'll be there tomorrow.
I don't know what
How's
their
that?
turnaround is.
I'll be at Mark's Quick Printing tomorrow
And they get it out.
and get it,
pretty
yeah.
fast.
Yeah, there's
So
a
because
pretty
it's
good
not a vote for all the
2 or 3 days.
residents, I'm okay with that. I was under
Okay.
the assumption it was for all the residents, and,
Yeah, it is.
which concerned me.
So now for the newsletter,
Yeah.
do we think it would be beneficial, like, to have, like, council input, or just have her do it?
I think if there's content that's not political in nature,
Right.
submit it, yeah. I do know the last newsletter, the plan was bios and pictures of the council
Oh, no,
people.
no,
I think
well,
that's
we know what
inappropriate.
that,
Yeah.
That's,
No.
it should be informational, your name, your contact information, what ward you serve, bam, that's it.
And we could, yeah, and we can do occasional, I know a lot of places will have letters from the mayors. We could rotate letters from wards, but, I mean,
I think it would be nice to have a picture.
I'm not opposed.
Yeah, that's fine. Usually I'm in gym.
I mean, you don't have to put like,
so-
this is how I feel about something, but a lot of.
Well, and that
times-
is an investment for our website, not just our newsletter.
Yeah, because a lot
We
of
can
times.
just put it on the website. Can you
Well,
put
we
it on the
could,
website?
yeah, but a lot of
Instead of
times people
newsletter?
don't know what we look like.
We can get a photographer.
I mean,
to
you
figure out
absolutely
what that
could.
picture did.
People don't even know
That's
who we
very,
are, yeah.
that's very
Or we
usual
could
for.
I
get a
get-
picture, and a headshot and put it in the lobby.
And a picture with your information is what you
Yeah, but
said.
not like,
Yeah.
I believe in.
I love babies and,
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
We really need to get headshots for the website anyways.
well, if you want it free, my daughter is really very, very good at it.
Well,
Now,
it's
if you wanna
free,
pay,
it's not
that's fine
patronage.
too. What's that?
If it's free, it's not.
It's
patronage.
free.
I mean,
She's an incredible photographer.
Cause you could have them like you got the, like we have these, we could like have them like Ward 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and just have the people underneath each other, just a picture,
Yeah.
so people know who we are.
Yeah, as long as
And
it's
then-
not for our own self and
Yeah, no, like,
aggrandizement, that's.
They do
that's
that
fine.
like, I see that all the time on, and then you
so
just
you're
change the
saying
picture.
on the newsletter, in the newsletter too, have that contact info?
Well, it just,
I'm not talking
we
about
don't have
doing
to do it on the newsletter, like, I'm fine with my picture on mine, but you don't have to do it, but like, if people walked into City Hall, like, it'd be nice to see like the mayor,
And then you're saying the
Picture.
website.
The website.
you know, like that. like,
Every
on the
city's website
I
has.
think the
Okay, if we're getting beyond
Yeah.
newsletter website, then it's a
Right.
photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't wanna offer printing and
No,
that kind
well,
of thing. We're talking about framed, printed pictures.
okay.
Yeah, like a nice frame, just when you walk in, so it's like the mayor and then the people, the city council picture.
staff.
And then that's it. You can just have Ward 1, Ward 2, and name, and then that's it.
Well, we need a contact somewhere. Is
That
it-
could be in the newsletter.
Now, your contact is on the website right now, your guys' pictures just aren't on there.
A contact information out there?
Yeah,
Not your personal cell phone or anything, but
the government.
Your city
telephone number
email
and
is on there.
your
email.
city
Your name,
email,
city
your name, what ward you represent.
So getting back to the newsletter, it would be news, it would be city events.
What's happening? What's
What's
going on?
happening.
Just like
The,
what we just talked about,
Yeah,
all the
and
things that are
maybe
happening.
something in a ward that's going on, and just, it's news, it's just an event,
It's a
it's not
Special
political,
event
it's
here.
just,
And does anybody have an issue that if any of the local churches that are in Normandy wants to post upcoming events, is that,
I don't have a problem.
How do we feel about ads?
Do we have to pay, yeah, do you want them to pay for an ad?
That,
It would help cover the cost. And
Like if you wanna have an ad?
I don't
I'd
think
say
we'll have an ad for a
initially-
strip club in there or anything, but. I mean,
well, yeah, we would choose what is
Yeah.
appropriate for our newsletter.
well, I think initially.
I'm open to hearing what everybody has to say about that.
To support the businesses, since there's been this gap of really connectedness, list who we have in Normandy's businesses. And then another idea would be to contact them and say, could we interview you? You can put it in the newsletter. The,
That would be,
um,
but you can't interview, that's too
yeah, that'd be
much.
too far.
Because you can't, it's only quarterly, it's just information.
Yeah, we wanna keep it concise.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of Ferguson's newsletter,
Yeah, they have.
is that they, they interview, people in the city.
Well, grand openings and that type of thing are
Sure.
news.
Yeah.
I think that would be good.
I guess it would just support, it would probably help the businesses connect up with us.
But we
No one
can't, we
may
wouldn't be
even-
able to do it for every business.
I don't think every business would be interested, they'd have to contact, it's just a suggestion, an idea.
Go ahead, Steve.
Could you just have one business in each newsletter?
Business spotlight.
Yes,
Just kind of a
yes,
spotlight, because that's what
exactly.
Ferguson does on a couple things, they
Yes.
spotlight
Yes,
just one business possibly.
yes.
And of course, they would have to agree to it and
Yes.
so on and so forth. And you would just.
Well, it would
go
benefit the
through-
business, it would benefit the city as a
And
whole.
then lead it
Right,
up to
right.
paid advertisement.
Maybe we could do one page and you break it into fours, into quarters, and you could do four.
So business spotlight,
But, yeah.
is everybody thinking that's a good thing to do? That is aside from the question about selling advertising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, and
I don't think
we
it-
could come up with some fee. I mean, if a local business wants to charge, I don't wanna charge them out the nose, but if
right, yeah.
Hoffman Brothers, or some
Oh,
larger
big
Scale,
company.
scale to its proximity in Normandy as well as.
I
scale
think
to
you have
its-
two rates, one for a Normandy business and one for
Yeah.
a business outside of Normandy.
Sure. okay.
But again, the question is, is anyone opposed to having?
No,
No.
I'm not. No.
Okay?
See, but we only have 4 pages, and so when you look at Ferguson's, I mean, theirs is like 10 pages. And so they have the business ads,
Section.
but it's balanced within all their other
Neighborhood.
articles. So we just have to
Yeah.
keep in mind.
So are we gonna have more than 4 pages? Because,
I think for us to put out the first newsletter, let's go with 4 pages, and let's get through the process.
okay.
We want the content to be worth our citizens' times. I mean, if we say 8 pages, we can fill 8 pages, but
Just as an
I
idea,
think
you
4
could make an insert for the businesses
yeah.
and leave
Oh, an
the
insert,
first through
yeah.
4th pages
Content.
for content.
An insert, I like that idea.
Just as an
Yeah.
insert, I mean, I'm just throwing that
I
out,
like that.
whatever
Yeah.
anyone thinks.
Yeah.
Now, will we,
But as far as the newsletters, I mean, we're not that big. It's gonna take about a year to go through all the businesses. I mean, if you exclude all the chicken
and the,
restaurants,
the Chinese food?
that's it.
And you know Chinese restaurants don't have to advertise, they don't spend a dime on advertising.
No, they don't.
Do we want,
I thought I'd just put that out there.
do you wanna have, do we wanna have like the, department heads Give like a,
Yeah.
I think
That's
that's-
newsletters,
You
yeah.
know, we'll see how the content, but I don't think a public works update, definitely a police update would be a bad idea at all.
Sam and I had a discussion about a target date. We weren't necessarily in agreement on that, but if we're doing them quarterly, what's your take on when we can crank out our first one?
It's October or January, I mean, that's,
The sooner the better.
I would
I've been pushing
say,
for this for,
I would
since
say we
before.
want to get one out before the holidays.
okay.
Yeah.
October?
Yeah, we say Merry
October.
Christmas to everybody.
Well, if it's between, like, elections, so there's like September, October, November,
it would be October.
September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, those are that's between elections.
Well, if you do one in November, the next one will be due at the end of February, so that's before the election.
I
Because it's
think we
every
have to get
quarter, it's
something
It shouldn't have
sooner.
anything to do with newsletters.
Yeah.
I really
A
don't.
quarter
That's
is
what I'm
every 3
saying,
months.
if we get one out by September,
Well, that's I was thinking if we get it out early October, an October newsletter.
Exactly.
Then we have a January newsletter.
January, February,
Then we
March.
haven't-
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yep,
April,
then-
May,
yeah.
June, July, August, September, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just all
because
for
we
it
wanna
as
get
soon
one
as
right.
humanly possible.
Soon as
The
possible,
sooner the
yeah,
better.
that's what I was trying to up first.
I
September
like
if
yeah,
possible.
I like his idea.
So October,
Okay,
All right, an October newsletter is our target.
Yeah,
fine with it.
We need content.
Yes.
I got content.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah.
You ought to be able to write a really good story
Oh,
for
yeah.
this year. Yeah,
Very real interesting.
yeah.
all right, I guess we're,
All right, let's move on. As soon as I can see.
we
All
actually
right.
did that already.
yeah.
Item C, discussion relative to city mission vision statement. I've written one, Sam's written one. Anybody else want to
didn't get
share with us?
I put for the,
This
Here's
is
mine.
just a-
for the mission
Yeah.
part,
Yes.
I just had a bunch, it was, like,
Is this yours, Sam?
No, that is what is currently on our website.
that one?
And I don't know who wrote that, I do not like the format, the content's not necessarily bad, this is one.
Is this Sam? You got another?
Well, in reading,
That's
Debbie.
it. Oh, thank you.
in reading,
Thank you.
well, searching the website, look at the big companies.
I need one.
They have very
Oh, go ahead.
brief,
Yeah, I like
concise,
that.
to the point. You talk about your Fortune 100 companies, thank you. They've got very concise, to the point, they're never more than one sentence. This is what we do, this is why we do it, these are our values.
Right. And to frame the discussion, I mean, it's as it says, and I agree entirely, one sentence, maybe
This is too
two.
long.
Yeah, that's what's currently on there.
And the
No,
other one from Republic, oh my gosh, it's too long.
I agree.
So let me also add this, when we create, now my mission for being here may not be your mission for being here. And the mission is, why did you come here? What do you want to do? Why are we here? So when we create a mission statement, it should reflect every decision we make as a council.
Yes,
Every decision we make should serve that mission.
yes.
And if there's questions about what we should do, how we should do it, what's our mission? Oh yeah, this is why we should do that. So it does have purpose.
And not just the council on the administration. Every decision we make should be in alignment
I agree.
with the mission, which is fulfilling the vision, and is consistent with the values.
Is this yours?
Yes.
30 years teaching.
Now, the red part obviously is the statements. I just included my little scribbles and my worksheet and my bullet points, this is how I came up with what I came up with.
I liked Mark's. I also liked one aspect of Kirkwood, the stewardship, sort of.
Right. And I think,
So this is when I just first met.
yeah,
read it.
speaking of format, Kirkwood, I think has the best format,
Yeah,
and
me too.
I think that's the format we should go for.
But I mean, it's very reflective of Kirkwood, so we just don't want, I mean, when I read it, I knew it was Kirkwood without even Kirkwood,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
so detailed to them.
And you know, like where I work at, Centene, we just have one short one, transform the health of the community one person at a time. That's
See,
it.
that's
And
beautiful.
and that's why it's good because,
And we all got one.
yeah, and you're an employee
That's our
and you
mission.
know
Bam.
it. Yeah.
And he knows what it is.
One paragraph.
It's not a paragraph.
No.
You know what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yolanda had some bullet points she wanted to go through.
Oh, Sam has the transparency, I put that. I put, serve the residents, but I think that comes with like the professional I put serve residents with
Wait,
effective.
where are you at under?
I'm reading what I wrote.
Uh-huh.
Can you repeat that again?
Provision or mission?
Permission. I said, serving the government with effective and sound best practice, but I feel like that may be his professional governance part.
Yeah.
And then, also to retain and grow the community, like keep people here and then like
Oh, I like
increase the
that.
population.
That's nice.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I added down for under value statement, where it says Normandy with integrity and transparency, doing what is needed to encourage residents to engage in civic opportunities and keeping residents informed. I mean, and then the stewardship from Kirkwood. What do you say, retain and grow?
Retain and grow the community.
How do we incorporate that into the mission statement? To serve the residents, comma, retain and grow Normandy, comma, by providing?
I
Don't
like
you
Sam,
say that?
I like Sam's statement, like to provide a like, we could put to retain and grow the community by providing a high degree of public, like put retain and grow
Oh,
community
yeah.
in the front, and then put by providing a high degree of public service through transparent, accountable, and professional governance.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you,
you
Yolanda.
wanna keep it short.
Say that
You don't
again.
wanna keep it.
Retain and grow the community by providing a high level of public service through transparent, accountable, and professional governance. Because I like his, like, those are all three things that we want to be
So
transparent.
compared
with.
to Mark's mission, to serve the residents of Normandy by providing exceptional services, creating an environment conducive to economic growth.
Right. So any city's mission statement is gonna be to provide services, which it's gotta be in there, because
Well, public
local
service
governments
is in there.
are service providers. So I think we all agree on that part, but I like the retain and grow, and
Yeah,
Like the retain and grow too? Do we want to take out the retain? It just has a desperate sound to it.
What's another word
To
for
grow,
retain?
grow, just grow.
Just grow the
Just
community
grow.
with.
But it's
Yeah,
a good
I
point,
think
Mark.
retain.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Grow the.
Yeah,
To grow.
retain,
community.
revitalize.
hang on, you know.
Please don't make us.
Mark says something about that here, let's see. Well,
So go ahead, what have we got for the mission statement? Read it again, please.
So it would just be grow the community by providing a high degree of public service through a transparent, accountable, and professional governance.
Okay.
Did you want an
what about
economic
economic
development?
growth? Yeah,
The
yeah.
reason I put economic growth is that's one of the main reasons I think we're here.
But should that be in our vision
It
part?
could be in the vision.
Okay.
Because we could put it in the, because I put that in my vision.
Right,
part.
and it is in the vision,
Yeah.
really. So we can let's just go with Sam's if everybody likes that one
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
amended.
Yeah, I like that.
If it's too long, people, they're not gonna.
Yeah, just one-liners, so,
Are we gonna have a
One line
value
paragraph,
statement
okay.
too, so it's mission?
you know what?
So- There's
I-
different ways of doing it. He had a value statement for each one. Kirkwood had the value and then a statement about the value. Same thing with Republic, but they had six values.
But
How many letters are in Republic? I have no clue. And I just put that one in there to show you that there's different ways of doing
Yeah.
this thing.
some just have a bullet point of values, but you can look up values in the dictionary and bullet point, what do they mean to us? That's why I preferred it in a
As a statement.
statement versus just, here's our values. What are you gonna do with them?
Well, and the counterpoint to that is you could put them under your little fleur-de-lis there on your polo, or you could put them on the police car, or, you know.
they're short, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, or,
okay, that's,
and
yeah.
4 values is almost too long for that, but, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, for the shirt.
are we in agreement on the mission statement?
Yeah.
Okay. The vision statement.
I put Okay, so I put something about like a walkable community. A community that promotes active citizen involvement.
Yeah.
I put like trailblazer or like,
I think we wrote the same thing with just different words.
Well, and I think,
economically welcoming downtown district.
yeah. And part of the thought in writing mine was and I'm not from here, I mean, really, the vision and values, that's your guys, I'm just trying to facilitate here. But I get the sense that Normandy wants to be a leader in this part of
Yeah,
the
that's
county.
what, yeah.
And I think that's probably an important thing to have in the vision statement.
For me personally, I would really like to include, if it's a good idea, historic, because Normandy has always been historic in almost everything that we do, good or bad. We've been historic, you know, with our establishment, with, you know, our founding date. Like, the city of Normandy's founding itself predates a lot of things throughout our country, even. Like, that's a really big deal. So we're reaching back historically, and we're looking forward every other way as well.
So how would he put that in the vision?
That appreciates, reflects the historic nature, how to word that.
Appreciates
Something
its
I
historic nature?
gotta chew on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, when Debbie mentioned that she read Kirkwood's and knew it was Kirkwood's, I was trying to be very specific with this. The heart of St. Louis County.
Yeah,
I like
I think when you say that, you know who they're talking about.
yeah, I like that, Mark. The, where's that in your vision?
Vi-
He's
in the
on the
vision
red one,
statement.
the first line.
The heart of North St. Louis County, a safe, family-friendly community that is the heart of North St. Louis County. Can we put historical something in there?
How are we gonna put economic development in there? Cause that's not, we don't have that.
Well, business district, with a business district.
Oh,
that
wait, okay, I
attracts
see it. Yeah.
Visitors from the entire region.
So how will we put
A safe,
historic?
family-friendly
safe-
community that appreciates their historic, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be done. We don't have to
Really-
come up with that.
Yeah,
this
really, it's just
second.
right between friendly and
Yeah.
community.
Family-friendly historic community, like, that's what you mean?
Family-friendly community that's the heart of North St. Louis County.
So we need to,
Oh, what if we put the historic heart, no.
Ooh,
that's-
yes, the historic heart. Because we're laying claim
Yeah, I
to it.
like that, Yolanda.
We are claiming our position
it is
as the heart
historic.
of
Heart.
North.
Historic heart, what do we have,
The,
historic down in
That is the
Normandy?
heart
Well, for one,
of-
that building
that is the heart of.
I mean, you say historic.
I mean, okay.
Is that the historic you're going after, though? Are you talking about more about the,
I like, that has quite a bit of gumption to it, which I kind of like.
I think that's the point.
Okay, good.
I think that's the whole, yeah. That's the point of the vision. You wanna be like,
Say it again, someone read it. A
That is
safe
the heart, the historic heart of North St. Louis
that
County.
is the,
Just insert the word historic right there.
but there's just a little bit of redundancy. Does our vision statement want to be historic?
Well,
We're okay there?
Okay, I see.
part of your vision can be to appreciate this.
yes.
I mean, depending on what your
Okay, no,
vision's
I'm
given
just throwing
is,
it out there.
when you make a decision, do you want to tear down an old building or do you
Right.
want to restore it? You know?
With a business,
that's
with
it,
a
yeah.
forward-thinking business district.
Are those two
Or-
in conflict? Is that what
or
you're
modern.
asking?
Well, there's economic development,
think
we don't have to
business is
say
whatever
economic
we choose to
development, it's
make.
right there. A business district
I
that
believe
attracts
that
visitors from the
makes
entire region.
Sure. Yeah, I don't want to get it too wordy either.
yeah, cause I put downtown, on mine, I put downtown.
Downtown?
We don't have
Yeah.
it downtown.
Yeah, what do you
I
consider
grew up in a town
downtown?
that
But
had downtown.
I consider like,
The wedge?
well, it's not that yet, but in my vision of Normandy, this would be our downtown.
Our strip.
Like, this strip would be our downtown. So like,
Well,
How about a
Business
business
district.
strip versus
Yeah.
a business district?
Yeah.
A better word to describe a more attractive
you
word
would put
than
the word
district.
strip.
Who wants
I
to
don't-
be in a district? Who
Yeah.
wants
I don't
to,
like the word strip.
a business what?
No, I don't.
Somebody get on the
Strip.
soil. Yeah. Corridor, business corridor.
Yeah.
There you are, I like that.
It's a 10-cent word, but not a 25-cent word.
Yeah, there you go. A business
And a business corridor that
attracts
attracts visitors from the entire
region.
Better word.
So that's economic development without saying it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Are we good with that?
So
Any
we got
oth- any
a
other
safe,
additions?
friendly
I'm good
community
with it.
that is the historic heart of North St. Louis County with a business corridor that attracts visitors.
Oh, I like
I
it.
contributed, I'm done.
Okay, we're moving, we're doing good. I thought this would take longer. All right, values. Do we
Okay.
bullet point? Do we do a value statement? Do we do both?
Right.
Well, I'd like to encourage residents to engage in civic opportunities.
Public service.
Is that a value?
I don't know,
That's
but
public engagement. That would be the
public
value.
engagement.
Yeah.
I like the word civic.
Or
I like the word
engagement,
civic.
if you wanted to make it
worse.
Kirkwood has
Yeah.
involvement.
Yeah.
That means voting, that means coming to city council meetings, that means
Community
being on
events.
boards, a community
Yeah,
event.
checking on your
For
neighbors.
a town of
Civic
this size,
opportunities, huh?
for a town of this size, our attendance is very high at council meetings. I mean,
Not lately.
Well, there's been a lot of time changes and so forth.
Yeah, 3 last time.
yeah,
Oh, I just,
that's probably how many Chesterfield had.
so,
How about professional self-esteem of city officials,
well, here, what's your
working with a engaged, or working
civic-minded?
something
Let's-
together with?
Should we agree on the values and then come up with the statements?
I don't know,
for
maybe
each
we just
one?
have one value statement, maybe we don't
I
have to
think,
put.
I think the history that this city has gone through, I think professionalism, integrity, and transparency, that's why I came up with what I came up with. I want to hear from other people.
Are you talking about what same, wait, y'all put the same thing? But he just put
Pretty
it in a
close.
bullet point?
Yeah.
I
Okay,
had-
what did you
I
put,
had-
prevention, accountability,
I
public
have
service?
yours. Do Mark have one?
March is the red one.
Oh, I like the 3 bullet point format. I think people read 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And you
groups
have to
better.
put it in red too,
like
highlights, and you're like, bam!
Well, the statements themselves, the rest is just how I arrived at that.
Yeah, no, I'm just giving you.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you even used coordinator over here.
Yeah.
You didn't use it yourself, but it was used.
Okay.
Oh, you did put corridor.
The example of a
Oh, did I? Yeah, okay. I messed up when I trained.
I didn't even realize it.
So, are we in agreement on professionalism, integrity, and transparency? Or is
I don't
there?
know.
Like professionalism, transparency, accountability. I like yours, accountability. And we're gonna have just 3 or 4. Can we have
Yeah,
4?
public service is
Accountability in
civic-minded.
addition to or in place of?
Accountability and integrity, I mean,
Are
you
both-
could say that accountability is part of integrity.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can take accountability out, just do professionalism, transparency, and public service.
I do like the idea of keeping it to 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you have too many, they're gonna get
That's
lost after 3 or 4.
We have the
Well,
4
isn't
points of the
accountability
Florida League.
professionalism, and transparency, accountability?
They do
I'm gonna
overlap.
remove that.
Keep accountability and take out professionalism, accountability, transparency, and public service?
I would
And
agree with that.
professionalism.
Wait, what are we gonna, what was it? Say again?
Transparency, accountability, and public service. Is that what you said?
No, that's not what you said either. You said
I'm
accountability.
not sure, I'm not sure public service is a value.
Right, replace
don't know nothing about
professionalism with
public
accountability.
Yeah,
Okay.
transparency, accountability, public
What'd you say,
service.
Dave?
Yeah, but what I say, I'm not sure public service is a value. It's a mission.
Well, civic-mindedness, a value.
Oh, by the way,
Civic engagement?
so,
Yes,
Bellry Bakers has their meeting at 7.
7.
So,
Oh,
which we will be out here.
You're good?
Yeah.
Is this open? Do you want me
Yeah,
to?
no, this is an open
I
meeting.
didn't know if you wanted me to.
No, this is an open meeting.
All good, thank you.
no,
civic engagement instead of public service? I don't
civic
know.
engagement wouldn't be a value necessarily either.
It's a
But
value.
I like, as you originally said, Debbie, accountability to replace professionalism.
Accountability,
Yes.
integrity, transparency.
Yes, keeping it to those 3.
Accountability.
not integrity, transparency, accountability, and public service.
I don't think the public service.
Public
is a
service isn't a
value.
value. It's just,
I
I
don't
mean,
think that's a value.
So what's the third one then?
Accountability.
No,
What's the first one
transparency,
again?
What was the first
accountability.
one? I forget.
Did you say,
okay, somebody read three values.
What did you
so-
say, Dave?
I scratched one off.
Yeah.
Three values: accountability,
Uh-huh.
That's it.
integrity,
Oh, integrity.
transparency.
That's what I,
Okay. Yeah.
So,
All
okay, so
together.
we're changing professionalism to accountability?
Yes.
I like those three.
I like that, okay.
Good.
I, by building a selfless team of city officials and staff dedicated to, scratch the professional.
Yeah, building.
All right, scratch the
a-
professional. Are we making a statement first? of all?
Now, I'll tell you,
Yeah.
the mission statement, which we have adopted, basically lists the 4 values. Now, the mission statement still stands on its own,
Yeah,
but
sure. Which you can.
Say that again?
if you read the mission statement online,
We have those in there.
You're saying we're being
it
redundant.
basically,
Oh, gotcha.
no,
Oh, yeah, it is
no,
there.
originally it was redundant by design, so the
Redundant.
values were in the mission statement. So we changed, and it's okay to change the values. I think the mission statement stands on its own. I
Gotcha.
just wanted to make
Okay.
everyone aware of that.
Okay.
Being
Yeah.
an example of effective. and
Okay, that
responsible
changes the whole
field.
thing.
No, it doesn't have to.
No,
It doesn't have to.
It only
It doesn't
changes,
have to.
it only changes one word. So
Well, we don't even have to change the mission statement.
Right, you
I mean,
don't
we
have
can
to.
still have professionalism in the mission statement.
And that's,
Did you
yeah,
leave selfless?
I would be okay.
So
with
why do we need values then if the mission statement covers it all?
Selfless team of.
Because you should be able to list them off. I mean, that's,
But they're listed in the mission statement.
It helps, but people don't always read for comprehension.
I
And
think
so
we
by
should keep-
providing.
well, and now,
bullets-
now our values are different than the mission statement, so.
That's fine. I'm just,
I just don't-
No, they're not different.
well, somebody suggested that
But we don't have to get
we
rid
build
of,
our statement off the bullet points that we.
we don't have to get rid
We
of
don't have to.
professional in the
No,
value
we
statement
don't.
though.
Okay.
Because I would rather
No.
get rid of the selfless.
You're
We're
looking at
looking at
his.
Sam's.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
See,
No,
that
no,
doesn't
she's
have a-
looking at mine.
I'm looking at value statement.
Oh, you're looking at values, okay.
I
Sorry,
said-
I didn't mean to confuse everyone by bringing that up.
No, I was saying, I would rather
Just,
get
just
rid
take the
of.
word selfless out of
I
there.
would rather keep professional and get rid of selfless.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a value statement,
And the bullet
as
points.
opposed, the bullet points
I
and the
thought we were gonna
value
have the
statement
value statement
summing
and the
up.
bullet points, like Kirk.
I think,
Kirkwood has a statement for each value.
Oh, it was
Wording.
Ferguson that had the, Ferguson
Yeah, I
had the
didn't like
statement and then the
Ferguson.
values. So are we doing the statement and the values or just the?
You don't even have to have value
Right.
statements. I mean, we
it's
can
not
just say
necessary.
integrity, period. I mean,
do you want a value statement or no?
Pass.
Let's hear from everybody. No, no,
No.
all right.
So you just want
Just-
bullet, wait a minute.
Just
wait a
bullet
minute.
point it.
But-
Just
but
core values.
I like Kirkwood's giving an example of each. It wraps people's head around an example.
Karen?
I
Karen?
kinda like yours. Take the selfless off of it,
I
yeah,
think we use both.
I think so.
I think we use the value statement and then the bullet points underneath. I like
Being
that.
an example of effective municipal government by building a
Because I think if you have a
professional-
statement at the top, you don't need to have the sentence
a
after.
professional team.
So just take the, okay, so just have the one for the
Like
mission
use, like you
statement.
said, use marks and then have the 3 bullet points underneath, and then you don't need to have the statement after.
Take the statement out of
No.
this one?
Yeah.
So use the red statement and then and then
The
use,
swap.
and then just put accountability,
Bullet pointed after that or before it.
integrity
Well,
and
we do it in
transparency.
the order.
So it just looks like,
Professional,
it would be like this and then 3 bullet points.
Yeah, that's right.
Integrity.
I kinda like the verbiage on here.
Yeah, I like that, because I like the statement, and I also like the 3 bullet points.
so we're having a value statement for all 3 values.
I like
And,
that.
and it's as written with selfless.
Self-
Okay.
take
selfless
selfless off of
scratched.
it.
Got it.
Cool. Good.
Okay,
No, we're not having a value statement for all 3.
no,
No, we
sorry,
can have
the value statement is for the group of
Yeah,
values.
and it is for the, yeah.
For the mission and the.
But accountability is not in there.
Yes, it is, it's in the
Yeah,
bullet
yeah,
point.
let's, okay.
Yeah, but it's not in the value statement.
There's
You don't
a-
have to
there's a
put it in the
box.
statement.
No.
You got the bullet, because it's gonna be bullet pointed.
I think we're generally in a good place. Is there something that is,
Read it out loud, somebody out loud.
Being an example of effective municipal government by building a professional team of city officials and staff dedicated to serving the residents of Normandy with integrity and transparency. Accountability, integrity, transparency.
There it is.
Bulletin.
All right.
How about the dedicated, accountable to serving?
Wait, what?
And a staff accountable to serving the residents of Normandy with integrity and transportation,
Transparency?
and transparency.
I think it's an awkward
And
word.
staff
in this area.
accountable to
But
serving.
we're changing professionalism to accountability is what she's saying, right?
No,
Right,
we're changing the word dedicated to accountable.
I think accountable in that
I think
is a little awkward, actually, it's not
To staff
accountable.
accountable to serving, they're
Oh, yeah.
accountable.
I don't like that one. I like the professionalism at the top and then the accountability at the bottom.
So is the value professionalism or accountability? I see what Councilwoman Rosso is saying.
Professionalism is no longer in this sentence.
Oh,
we
it's not,
scratched it.
take out
So
professionalism.
accountable-
Oh, you're right, it was
wait a
put
minute.
back in.
We put it back in.
So
We did that.
professionalism, you see what I, and then accountable is our value now and it's not in the statement.
Right.
But I don't think we need, that's what I was saying. I was like, we don't need to have it in the statement, right? We don't need to have it in both
But
places.
I
Well,
think
it's-
accountable describes a value more than dedicated. Accountable to serving.
I'm not dedicated to the accountability as a value.
Good wordplay.
So is the value professionalism or accountability?
I personally like the professionalism, because I think that's what has been
Oh, yeah, I'm
lacking.
not trying, that's key.
I think it's been
So,
lacking.
listen, being an example of effective municipal government by building a professional team of city officials and staff accountable to serving the residents of Normandy with integrity and transparency.
I just think if we value professionalism, integrity, and transparency, accountability follows.
Follows,
Yeah.
yeah.
It-
Okay, so then we don't put a bullet point for accountability then?
So we are taking we're taking selfless out, but otherwise the values, we're taking mayor's statement
Value
and
statement.
values.
Yeah, a value statement, that's fine.
Okay, I
We're
get
taking
it.
the word selfless out.
Okay. And then the values themselves, we're taking.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm hearing.
Not those, though. It was
So I'm
these.
hearing the list is professional
It was
integrity and
accountability.
transparency.
Well, I think we're changing accountability back to
This one was
professionalism.
gone. That one was, wait a minute.
Oh,
We're changing accountability back to
For
professional. So
professionalism.
it is the three that you.
I think it is.
Yeah.
So it's-
Yeah, okay, I'm good.
So it's just marks without selflessness. Selfless
Selfless.
is just the only thing that's out.
We-
I don't feel that
And we're
strongly.
Okay,
dedicated.
I will send an email out and we can, pick it apart a little bit.
All right,
And we'll have
take
a
what we've got,
resolution.
send it out.
We've got
Yeah.
15 minutes and
Yeah, we got a lot to go through.
prioritize.
I want to give Sam an opportunity to discuss the projected revenues for
Does
2023.
everyone have this piece of paper?
That has to be gotten through tonight, I think.
Everyone got this?
Got it.
You guys, Councilman Saxon?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Here,
We'll share.
yeah,
I've seen it already.
have you?
And this-
Okay, good.
I got an extra copy right here if you need it. So, all right, we've got in front of you, this is our revenues for the year, categorized as they usually are in the budget. We have our 2019 actuals, our 2020 actuals, our 2021 actuals, which means that's what we actually brought in. We have our 2022 estimated, which projects, now that we're over 3/4 of the way through, into what it will be in September 2022. And then we have what I have projected and what we will base our budget off of for fiscal year 2023.
Running right around 2022 figures.
Yeah, and so you'll see property tax is projected to be more or less flat. That's how property tax works. It doesn't change. So utility tax is set to an aggressive 4% increase. That's because of the inflation. And I think if you compare the 2022 estimates to the 2021 actuals, you'll see that there has been a large jump.
Yeah.
Utility tax is based directly off of someone pays on their gas bill. Gas is bills have gone up.
Why is telephone so low?
Telephone is so, I am not sure, and it's something I gotta look into. We are a new team, and unlike all the rest of them, the telephone checks come in like 83 checks, because AT&T is 83 different companies, basically, and it gets confusing. I wondered the exact same thing, I don't have a good answer for you yet. I did not project cable to increase a whole lot, because of the state laws regarding cable utility taxes. They're actually set to kind of phase out, and also no one buys cable anymore, is another reason. Especially, I mean, unless you want to watch the Cardinals, they lose, right? But sales tax is set for a 2% increase. Now, our sales tax is part of the pool. I have reached out to St. Louis County, trying to get a straight answer. Our 2020 census actually declined our population significantly. There was some estimates had us closer to 5,000, now we're around 4,300. A significant decline. I'm not sure if that has taken effect yet. Just look up the census numbers. I don't.
I've seen it too. So.
Yeah. Now, that being said, there's also been rampant inflation, and as people spend more money throughout the county, in the pool cities in the county, that will also increase our portion. So I think it will, and as you can see from sales tax estimated, I think it will balance out. Also, we are talking about dissolving the TIF. This means that any money from this sales tax that was going to the TIF, I estimate it's around $20,000, will now just be part of our revenues.
But that's not in here, the TIF.
No, it's not.
I think City laid an egg on the census, last census.
Yeah, it seems that way. Prop P is also a pool tax. It is set to increase by 2%. Again, it's aggressive mixed with the fact that we've lost population, so it's around normal. Local use tax. Last September, the state of Missouri passed what's called the Wayfair bill. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but in that bill,
Internet purchases?
I don't know what the purpose of the bill, but one of the things the bill did, it changed the St. Louis County use tax pool from a pool to it's not a pool. So we went from, we were pooled with all the other use taxes in St. Louis County to
Not.
it's just our use tax now. So we went from, and this happened September 21, so you can see in our 2021 budget, the decrease from around 150,000 to around 70,000. So we're gonna have another year. That's $70,000 that we lost just because the state law changed. Now, I'll tell you, if Proposition U passes in the county, we will make more than that back. But Proposition U failed last April. I'm sure they'll bring it up again, but that's a whole nother discussion. And I know we're moving fast here, but
Right, I follow.
merchant and manufacturers, we had, this is the business license and the liquor licenses. See, the liquor licenses are higher, it's because we basically had 2 years of revenue in one, because we had the late liquor licenses last year. And so it will go back to normal. The business licenses, you see, are a little bit lower. I think now that we have more staff, we can be more vigorous about getting people to pay their business license tax. This January, I mean, it was just, I think we'll see somewhat of an increase there. Permits, you'll notice there's not a whole lot of real change except for the fact that building permit fees estimates have gone down.
Is that a typo? 2,400 to 24,000.
Where are you looking?
That is a typo.
Yeah. Under part.
So, okay, that is a typo, I apologize.
What
for-
part?
Next page.
You-
So, and that will affect the bottom line here by,
Across this 24,000.
that'll affect it by
Like, Sam, do you know
$22,000.
something we don't know?
It is
That was
impressive.
gonna come up at the next meeting.
Surprise.
It has,
24,000 should be 2,400.
22K is gonna be taken off the bottom line of 3,872,000.
I was up late. when I was reading.
3,850,000 is what it would be.
But other than that, everything is kind of projected to remain the same. These don't change too much, except for building permits. because we've kind of changed the way, building permit fees used to be very high, and we are now doing what our code says we're supposed to do. The previous administration, I'll leave it at that. But court fines, this is kind of the big question mark and always has been for the city. I'm projecting it to go up, but I'm also being modest and realistic.
That's fine.
I think if we get to this 250,000 numbers, that at least pays for the staff and the judge and the prosecuting attorney. If we don't get to this number, then we're not getting to that. Period. And then cigarette, motor fuels, these are fairly flat. Those are intergovernmental. That's based off how many people cigarettes buy and how many gallons of gas people buy. And then you'll see contractual fees is the last big line item. That's all our police and court contracts, estimated at 1.3 million. It is down from last year because we lost a couple of contracts. But we also have a lot of contracts up for renewal, so we'll see how it changes.
So,
Mayor?
Yes.
I'm Sam Alton. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Around town? Hello, everyone. I'm sorry to pester your meeting.
The mayor's out there, and you guys are not gonna be done by 7. We will live and postpone it for a week.
No, no, no.
No.
We're done by.
Are you sure? Okay. Is that-
We had so many items,
All good.
we're gonna have another meeting anyway, so I appreciate that.
This is our workshop. We don't want to mess with your regular
Bless
meeting.
your hearts.
Right.
But, okay, all right.
No, we'll be fine.
So,
All right. Any questions? I know that was quick.
Okay, we only have time for one more item of discussion, and I want it to be city-owned resident properties, item G. We have an offer from Beyond Housing for 2 of our properties, $15,000 apiece, and 2 others that they're asking a donation of. I suggest we move forward and see what they can do with them. I intend on having a resolution to that effect. I want to hear from everybody.
I would like to see their plan first.
So we will have
I mean-
Corey
Yeah, I
Dickens.
want to see the,
Yeah, is it gonna be transition housing? See,
Yes.
that's it,
Well,
Section 8 right
what do you mean by transit?
transition housing, like recovering alcoholics, will
Oh,
you know.
I'm not sure. So I had a
I would
brief
like to know.
That's not a
conversation with her.
design, I don't know.
We don't
Go
know.
ahead,
I
Sam.
had a brief conversation with her, and I've invited her to come to the August 2nd meeting.
Will she have a written plan, like Tony's?
I can
I
ask
would
her
like
for
to
a
have
written.
I would like to have a written plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Corey Dickens, she works at Beyond Housing.
Okay.
From my understanding, it's not necessarily substance abuse, but they do help take people who are, and they transition them, they're lower on the economic income, and they transition them to being responsible homeowners. They,
Oh, good,
they,
homeowners, not rentals.
well,
That's what
the
that-
But
unit
they don't
stays
use that house.
rented.
Unit stays rental.
stays a
They-
rental.
Yeah.
Oh.
So once
So-
someone graduates, they find another person.
Job training, in general, training on how to be a responsible.
So they can probably only be there a year and then move out and somebody else move in.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would like to have this
Yeah,
done.
I really need to see
I will
this.
say the fact that I don't think we're gonna find homeowners for these houses. I think we need to be realistic about that.
It could be a possibility.
Well, these were put up at public auction 3 times. That's how we ended up with them. We buy them for $1. Nobody wants them. They're able to work with grant money. These properties, investors aren't interested in.
I mean, 2 of
They've
them are
already
asking
been
us
through
to
the
donate.
process for years. And,
But the 2 that are asking to donate, are those the lots that we raised down the building?
No.
Okay, the
These are-
others, then what about land bank, that whole?
well, that's gonna be a separate discussion.
They don't have their land bank anymore.
Well, I thought you were, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Their program-
I was thinking you were talking about adopt a lot. It was land bank.
Land bank.
That's another discussion, is the adopt a lot.
Adopt a
But I think we have to be realistic about what we're gonna have. We're either gonna have a vacant property that we have to tear down, or we're gonna have a property that they're gonna rehab and put a resident in, which is also population, which is also a property we don't have to maintain anymore. It's not an eyesore to the neighbors, and we know who owns it. It's
Yes.
Beyond
The
Housing.
problem with exterior maintenance is when Rick, our code enforcement officer, goes to, it's a landlord in California, he can't get in contact with them.
Right.
We know who Beyond Housing is, we have a vested interest in each other. If we say, hey, your tenant is not mowing the lot, they will send a lawnmower and mow the lot.
But I do have a question about the other vacant properties on, especially in Ward 1. can someone come and buy those properties? Because there's a,
We'd certainly be willing to sell them. it's a struggle finding anybody that wants them because the money it takes to rehab those properties, when you're done, you've spent more than the property's worth.
And
It's
that's
just-
why Beyond Housing, a nonprofit, is not interested in them, if that tells
no,
you.
no, what I'm asking is there a list of
So it's
contractors?
only addressing certain homes, that's on
The
the
four,
list. The
yeah.
four,
We
just
showed them
on the
11
list.
and they were interested in 4.
So is there a list that a contractor can come look at these houses and say, we'd like to buy these houses and just rehab them and sell them?
Oh, that leads me to, yes, that's the other thing we talked about. We need a realtor to put those houses on the market.
Yes.
And never met Reed, don't know Reed, I've been referred, it's been suggested he would be, is it a he or a she?
She.
She would be the person to use, they're local, they're in town. Would everybody be in agreement to use Reed Realtors to put these properties on the market and just see what we get?
What about Habitat for Humanity?
Yes,
That's a
and we'll get in
possibility.
contact, but
Yeah.
we need to let this.
No, let's let them have their meeting. A motion to adjourn?
Oh, we're gonna, okay.
Oh,
Are we gonna have-
do you want to take, I'm sorry,
You could do that?
do you want to take it into the conference room?
Well, we could finish the meeting.
Well, we're on Zoom here. Let's motion to
I don't think we
adjourn.
can,
And
because
then we'll
it's
have
a-
another
Yeah,
meeting.
got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
I have a first, do I have a second? Second. Yeah. All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned, thanks.